Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of Woke Societies. This is Scott, your host of the YouTube channel and podcast. And today we're going to be doing a quick hitter about the new fad disease that I see roaming around all the news headlines, the coronavirus. It's a very blustery, cold day in New York. The apartment right now is absolutely freezing. It doesn't matter how much we turn up the heat. It's so cold. And it's absolutely miserable. Hence why I'm wearing the hoodie to get a little warm. It's just been one of those days, guys. My work truck ran out of gas literally as I was pulling into the gas station. I don't know if this ever happened to anybody, but my truck turned off and it was still rolling. And I was like, "Come on, get to the pump, get to the pump." And I got to the pump, but the hose was about 2 feet away from the hole, and I could not get it in. I couldn't reach it. Could not reach it. Right. Had to call my boss, bring out a gas tank. It was embarrassing. But you can't make this stuff up. It's just one of those days. Absolutely freezing cold, 12-degree weather every morning when I wake up. It's absolutely miserable. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about the coronavirus, and let's get the essentials out of the way. This is Woke Societies, my YouTube channel here. You guys can subscribe, share it, and like it, guys. That is the most important thing. You guys killed it in the last video with the likes. Got it's almost at 500 likes now. It's not there yet, but it's pretty close. But those likes, guys, they get me suggested on YouTube to other viewers that have not yet seen this channel, and I'm getting new subscribers almost every day saying how happy they are to find this channel, and it just makes me feel happy inside. That's what this is all about. To get real news out there, to let people know. So please hit that like button and share it with as many people as you can. Get this out organically, and we're going to kill it. If you guys don't know, I have a BitChute with all my backup. It's all the same videos. Everything's right here. All that good stuff. In case you hate YouTube, which I totally understand, and you guys want to increase your fandom and up it, go to my Patreon, which is all in the description below, and become a patron for just $1 a month. That's it. It's very simple. That's totally up to you guys. No pressure at all. And of course, you guys can always check out my beautiful website, wokesocieties.com, where you can click the link for any of your podcasting needs. I am on all the major podcasting platforms, and also my Twitter, Facebook. It's all right there in one convenient spot. So without further ado, let's get into the content here. So, as everyone knows, the impeachment trial is going on. Haven't been really following it that much because to me it's just so boring, and it's just so overplayed right now. I'm trying to find something interesting to talk about besides the impeachment. So this, of course, was smothering the headlines, and I picked up on it. So this one by the dailymail.com. The article headline is "China's contagious killer virus comes to the U.S. American man in his 30s is hospitalized in Washington state with SARS-like coronavirus after visiting Wuhan," CDC says. And of course, they throw in the SARS there to get poke the fear factor a little bit. So just some of the bullet points here state an American man in his 30s outside Seattle, Washington, who visited Wuhan. Wuhan, which we're going to find out was the epicenter for this breakout of this new disease, supposedly, has been diagnosed with the coronavirus from China. The patient, there was a typo here, it is the coronavirus. The patient is a resident of the Shamanish County and is currently at Providence Regional Medical Center. His condition is described as good, but he is being closely monitored. All passengers coming to the U.S. from Wuhan will now be rerouted to 5 airports. Chinese officials yesterday confirmed the virus has spread between humans. 15 healthcare workers have caught the respiratory virus. Figures show a total of 532 people worldwide have now tested positive for the unnamed virus. 5 countries outside China have now reported cases: the U.S., Taiwan, Thailand, Japan, and South Korea. And as of Wednesday, 17 people have been confirmed dead from the new virus. So this was spreading everywhere. It's all over social media. Everyone's talking about it. And it just reminds me of the timing. Remember last year, if you guys don't remember, the whole measles outbreak resurfaced again. I did videos on it earlier when I started the channel. And it was this whole thing about the measles, and people wanted to get all these shots. And of course, you see a spike in numbers for pharmaceutical companies that produce these vaccines that supposedly, cure you of these diseases and prevent you from getting it, but we all know how much shit that is. And this is the new fad one that's going, and it's spreading everywhere. At least the information is. But as far as the virus, let's take a look into it a little bit deeper. So, of course, it's over social media. And the Speaker 2018 here tweeted, "This is how they transport those infected with the deadly coronavirus that attacks the respiratory tract. This virus has spread to Japan, South Korea. There's also an Australian being tested for it." We'll talk more about this on the podcast Friday in regards to their podcast. But you can see here in the video, you know, it's taken pretty seriously. This person is obviously quarantined. The people handling them are quarantined. They have the suits on. It looks like an angry Chinese man here yelling at who knows what's going on here. But there is a person in this vacuum sealed tube here on a stretcher, and they're being carried in. This looks like it is from China. So, of course, this is spreading everywhere. People are freaking out. There's a person in the United States that has this, blah, 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 right? So let's go to the amazing Jordan Sather's Twitter here, and let's look at a thread that he made on this virus. Very interesting. He states, "The new fad disease called the coronavirus is sweeping headlines. Funny enough, there was a patent for the coronavirus that was filed in 2015 and granted in 2018. And if you look at it, you can pull it up here. Here it is, the coronavirus, July 23rd, 2015. And I'm going to put this in the link, guys, in the description if you guys want to dive into this. This was a lot of mumbo jumbo that I'm not going to pretend that I know anything about. It's a lot of chemistry, a lot of biology, lots of stuff talking about the diseases. But the most important thing, look at this. That is a line of DNA there. The most important thing is that this patent says that this type of virus was created in July of 2015. And according to Sather here, it was granted in 2018. So we're not too far off when this thing was given the final go here. And as he digs deeper into this virus, let's take a look what he says. This assignee of this patent was the government-funded Purebright Institute out of the UK. And would you look at that? Some of their major funders are the World Health Organization. It's like, really? And look at that, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And I have covered Bill Gates and their foundation multiple times, seeing how the connections they have between Epstein. And we all know about how they were trying to get rid of certain diseases out in Africa, and it only made it worse, despite what the media says, despite what the Netflix documentaries say about Bill Gates. It made it worse, and it spread it. And these vaccines that, they actually killed a lot of these children, unfortunately. It's unfortunate. It's not reported on, but it's true. So if you pull this up here, you could see it. Our major stakeholders, this is at Purebright, Biotechnology and Biological Services, UK Department of the Environment, blah, 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 blah. International funding and disease control agencies such as OIE, WHO, the European Commission, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So you can see it right there. This is pulled off their site. It's right out in the open. So as soon as you see that, of course, red flags everywhere, right? And Sather further continues on his thread. Funny how the WHO recently said the vaccine hesitancy was one of the leading threats to global health in 2019, and how much funding has the Gates Foundation given to vaccine programs throughout the years. And he makes a good point. Again, he says, funny how the WHO recently said that vaccine hesitancy was one of the leading threats to global health in 2019. But yet, how much money and funding has the Gates Foundation given to vaccine programs throughout the years? And he continues, was the release of this disease planned? Is the media using to incite fear around it? Is the cabal desperate for money, so they're tapping their big pharma reserves? Are there vaccines already being manufactured to fight this? Coordinated all along? And these are excellent questions, and it triggered me because it reminded me of, just like I was talking about before with the measles, we have Mercer, I think they're the only producer of these vaccines, and their stock prices skyrocketed when this whole measles outbreak thing happened. And then you guys noticed the story just died. All these measles outbreaks, it just disappeared. And here locally in New York, it was a big thing here. And I tried posting a video of a woman calling one of the hospitals probably about an hour or 2 hours away from where I live here. And the woman on the phone at the hospital was saying that all of this outrage and all this fear is really over nothing. The numbers that were being given as far as cases of people that had the measles, it was all BS. And she told the lady on the phone there was nothing to worry about. And this woman who was pretending to be like, oh, my kids, she was trying to put the message out there that what is being fed to us from the media is obviously a big fat lie. And it proved it. It absolutely proved it. I sent it to Edge of Wonder. This was right around when I started the channel. So the whole thing is, were they desperate for money? Are they trying to distract us from something that is currently going on right now, just like the false flag events such as shootings? Big scary virus, and it floods the headlines of all the major news outlets, and we all know where they get them from. It's from the CIA every single morning. They all get the same crap, and and then depending on the station, it's a little bit different depending on each media outlet. So he asked interesting questions. Was this coordinated all along? And then the next one, he says, interesting timing of when this disease is hitting the headlines during the Senate impeachment trials. And wouldn't you know it, that's happening this week, and all of a sudden we have this new outbreak going on. Started in China, one person in America gets it, and now, because of this one person getting this new virus, it has flooded the headlines. We need to keep the people looking over here while the Senate impeachment, which we all know is a sham, we need to get as many eyes away from that and have it focused on here. This is the playbook. This is what happens. This is what the deep state does. And after being, I guess you could say, woke for almost a year and a half now, you get to know the trends. You get to know the playbook of the deep state. Not saying I am not an expert at all, but you get to pick up on trends. You pick up on patterns of how these things happen. And Jordan Sather drops here, the last thing on his thread is a Epoch Times article that says Chinese researcher accused of trying to smuggle biological material out. And I pulled that up. I'm not sure if this is related, but it could have been. This was reported on December 23rd, and it states the Chinese researcher was arrested in Boston on suspicion of stealing vials of biological samples according to court documents unsealed on December 19th. Customs officials stopped Zheng Zhaosong for questioning at Boston Logan International Airport December 9th upon flagging him as a high risk for possibly exporting undeclared biological material. Zheng, a 29-year-old researcher at the Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hospital in China's southern province of Guangdong, came to Harvard University's Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center as a visiting graduate student in pathology. He was heading to Beijing at the time of the arrest. Now, the outbreak started in, where is it here? Wuhan. So I was trying to connect the dots there. It's not the same location. But this person was investigated by the FBI, and this dude was trying to get some kind of biological material that was not stored correctly. I think he put it in a sock. Yeah, right here, wrapped in a plastic bag and hidden in a sock, and he brought it onto a commercial airplane, which is obviously not good, right? So don't know if that was connected, but Sather he did link this article here, so I thought it was pretty interesting. But the last thing I wanted to bring up about this is so many people, we're all thinking on the same page. All the Anons, all the truthers, whatever you want to call us, YouTubers. One of the first things I thought of was the stock prices. What are the financial benefits of having this new disease come out? And right here we have, what's the Twitter handle? Lover Rain Super One. They write, didn't we predict this? New vaccines in the pipeline equals new outbreaks in the pipeline. Pharmaceutical stocks spike after China reports new coronavirus cases. And would you look at that, Professor Peter Hotez, a.k.a. Merck, a.k.a. Bill Gates, has just the vaccines we need. And isn't it coincidental that all these things line up? CNN Business, there's a screenshot here. Pharmaceutical stocks spike after China reports new coronavirus. Shocker, right? And right here, Professor Peter Hotez tweeted yesterday, "Knew my interview last night with whoever this Twitter is on KHOU 11 News Houston about the beta coronavirus now spreading in China." And looks like he's tagging some other people that he knows. They have already developed 2 coronavirus vaccines already with UTMH Health and New York Blood Center. Wow, that quickly they have vaccines already prepared for just in case this virus spreads and we have to issue these vaccines out and collect that money. Shocker, right? And Merck, who is the sole provider of the measles vaccines, this was an article taken from 2017, but it still gets the point across. It says Merck, this is from BioPharm, Merck KJAA and Baylor partner on vaccines for neglected diseases. Through its life sciences businesses, Millspore Sigma Merck KJAA will collaborate with Baylor College of Medicine to advance vaccine development for neglected and emerging diseases. So it's just another way of saying we're going to make these fake cures, get them ready for diseases that haven't been a problem yet, but could be a problem, and have them on the back burner when these things could possibly happen. So when they do, we can collect all the money from people, and they're also infected with the virus. It's wonderful, isn't it? What a great business, right? And this was also taken a screenshot. It says, today, Hotez is 49 and chairman of the Department of Microbiology and Immunology and Tropical Medicine at George Washington University. He has received $52 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So there's more connections with the Gates Foundation and Mr. Hotez here. And they're all just laughing at us making millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's absolutely disgusting. So there's going to probably be more information about this because this just started coming out yesterday. It absolutely made me sick. But if you go to the World Health Organization Twitter, they give a thread about the new coronavirus, and this came out today. So I'm just going to read a couple of these tweets here. It says the International Health Regulations Emergency Committee on the new coronavirus convened by Dr. Tedros is currently ongoing. Read more. Dr. Didier Hussein, chairperson of the International Health Regulations Emergency Committee. This is just a picture of him. There's a list of the committee members. And the last one I'm going to read. The Emergency Committee on the new coronavirus meets today to ascertain whether the outbreak constitutes a public health emergency of international concern and what recommendations should be made to manage it. So let's just cut to the chase here. Would it really surprise you guys if all of a sudden they do make this a public health emergency of international concern? Of course they're going to, because we're going to find out there's more people in the world, possibly in the U.S., that are going to be carrying this, and guess what? It's going to break out, and it's going to be what everyone's going to be talking about for the next month or so, and then it's going to disappear, while Big Pharma and people like Bill Gates and these other doctors, they're just going to be collecting money hand over fist. That's the summary of it. That's exactly what's going to happen. So they can sit here and act like we're gonna sit back, we're going to look at data. Just do it already. Just do it. We've seen this script before. So let's wait and see what happens. But again, my main takeaway from this is a huge distraction. That's why I tweeted it out the first time I saw it. What are they distracting us from? What are they keeping our eyes off of? And the last article for the episode today, I thought this was really interesting since we're talking about diseases. This is from dailycaller.com. This came out, I believe, just yesterday. Scientists might have accidentally cured cancer. Wow. New treatment for killing cancer cells may have accidentally been discovered by a group of British scientists, according to reports. Cardiff University's research team found a T cell that attaches itself onto human cancers and kills them, while ignoring healthy cells. Although in its early stages of development, the treatment successfully destroys bone, lung, breast, colon, prostate, and other cancers, the Telegraph reported. Originally, researchers were only looking for immune cells that were capable of fighting bacteria before they discovered the T cell virus. Their findings were made available on Monday. There's a chance here to treat every patient, Professor Andrew Soule of Cardiff University told the BBC. Previously, nobody believed this could be possible. It raises the prospect of one-size-fits-all cancer treatment, a single type of T cell that could be capable of destroying many different types of cancers across the population. But don't get your hopes up yet. Experts have praised the study for its great potential, that's in quotations, but note that they still cannot confirm if it works for all types of cancers. At the moment, this is very basic research and not close to actual medicines for patients, said Professor Daniel Davis of the University of Manchester to the BBC. There is no question that it's a very exciting discovery, both for advancing our basic knowledge about the immune system and for the possibility of future new medicines. So don't let that discourage you, though, because the last thing I'm going to show you is a little clip from our president, Mr. Trump here. Let's just take a quick watch.
We're continuing to work on things that you'll be hearing about in the near future, that even today, sitting here right now, you wouldn't believe it's possible, that we have found the answers. You'll be hearing about it, but we have found answers to things that people said would not be possible, certainly not in a very short period of time. But the wonders of the last century will pale in comparison to what today's young innovators will achieve, because they are doing things that nobody thought even feasible to begin. We continue to embrace technology, not to shun it. When people are free to innovate, millions will live longer, happier, healthier lives.
What a statement. And Sather here, this is why I snatched it. We're continuing to work on things to hear about in the very near future that even today you wouldn't believe is possible. We have found the answers. And guys, right there is where I want to leave you off on an encouraging note. Sather does like kind of a check mark: cancer cures, free energy technology, UFO disclosure. We are patiently waiting, President Trump, and that we are, and we have to continue to stay patient. It's super important not to get frustrated and say, well, when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? It's going to happen when the time is right, and that's where we have to leave it off. We can't go into these things with having super high expectations, but just having a positive outlook and setting the intention, I guess you can say, of these things being disclosed to us finally. But from what he's saying here, this could mean so many things. This could mean things about the Space Force and disclosing all the things we've been doing in space and in our solar system and other galaxies, which we've been doing for a very long time. And just the technologies that could already maybe cure cancer. We don't know. I believe they're out there, but there's no solid proof of it besides whistleblowers and firsthand accounts of people saying these things do exist, but not actually seeing the technology that does it. But gotta stay positive. We have to stay positive and move on from there. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you for joining. Thank you for everyone that listens on the podcast. You are noticed. I see you guys out there. You're downloading these episodes, and I appreciate you so much. So with that, hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends and family. Let everyone know about this channel. We are the News Now. Support independent media. Go to my BitChute if you want to go to Patreon to up that fandom. It's right there. And you guys can always find all my content here right on wokesocieties.com. So thank you guys. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. And of course, stay woke.